Hey everyone, it's May 24th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share it with Hilda Nilsson, a Swedish serial killer known as the Angel Maker on Brook Street, who killed at least 8 infants between 1915 and 1917. And yes, you're going to hear horrible Swedish pronunciation in this video. And that is her right up there. Born in 1876, Nilsson lived in Helsingborg, Sweden, where she and her husband had racked up a large amount of debt by the start of the Great War. In order to pay her bills, she began seeking out unwed mothers, offering to take care of their babies in exchange for money. At the time, having a child out of wedlock was considered shameful, even in Sweden, and the practice of baby farming was somewhat common. Nilsson kept her home neat and clean so the mothers trusted her with their children. But when she realized the amount of money she received from the mothers was less than the cost of raising a child, she decided to eliminate the expenses. It was not unusual for children in this circumstance to die, with many deaths due to neglect or starvation. What made Nilsson different was that she actively murdered these babies. Shortly after a woman would leave her child with Nilsson, she would place the baby in a wash tub filled with water, weigh them down by placing a heavy object on them, and then just leave, returning hours later when the baby was dead. She would then burn or bury the bodies and continue to collect payments from their mothers. Because the authorities weren't aware of these children even existing, and mothers who often wanted to just move on with their lives, her crimes went undiscovered for over 2 years. But when one mother insisted on visiting her child, she contacted the police when Nilsson refused to let her see them. When the police arrived, they found evidence of the horrors that had been happening in the home. Nilsson was convicted of 8 murders in 1917, but we'll never know exactly how many children she killed. Some records indicate it was as many as 17 infants. Sentenced to death by guillotine, Nilsson had her sentence commuted as Sweden was phasing out the death penalty at the time. On the day that decision was made, however, before she was advised that she no longer faced death, she hanged herself in her cell, believing she was about to be killed publicly. This made her the last death penalty case in Swedish history to not be pardoned, since she died before her sentence could be formally changed. Nilsson's home was rumored to be haunted, and since no one would purchase it after they knew what had happened there, it was ultimately demolished. But not only was her home considered haunted, so was the cell where she hanged herself, and you can visit it yourself to make up your own mind since the prison was turned into a museum in the 1940s. If this is your birthday, hope you have a great day. Drop me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know somebody whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Hilda Nilsson, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.